Okay, so I need all of you to turn to page 26 in your booklets, please. 26 or 27, I can't remember which one it is. Okay, so I asked you before to go back and kind of focus on your factoring. So there's a factoring review assignment. I did, just showing you here, I did go over each of these factoring kind of pieces. Okay, I kind of left little notes on the side. So you need to be making sure that you're going back and really doing factoring. Okay, there's a whole factoring assignment that you should have done. If you didn't, that's kind of what your first step is going to be. Well, this is what my thing is going to be on today. So we learned in Math 10C about factoring, and we need excellent factoring skills in pre-calculus. So that's 30-1. So today we're going to apply our Math 10C skills into factoring polynomials that maybe involve binomial expressions. Okay, so that means that looking at this first example, here I have 3x minus 1 all squared minus 2 times 3x minus 1 minus 8. I know that you were all able to probably expand this out, and then once you expand it, you're going to collect like terms, then break it down to a trinomial, and then you'll be able to factor that trinomial. However, I'm going to show you an easier way that you're going to do this. If I look at this, here I have a squared term, I have a non-squared term, and then I have a constant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I see that in the first two terms I have a common 3x minus 1. So I'm going to say let A equal 3x minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite this equation. Everywhere I see a 3x minus 1, I'm going to replace that with A. So here I have an A squared minus 2A and then minus 8. So now I have a 3-term trinomial that has a coefficient of 1 at the beginning. Okay, I know how to factor that super easy. I know that I can go bracket, 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 bracket. I need to find two terms that multiply together to get to -8 and that add together to get to -2. So I'm going to think, well, I know they both have to have an A there, and I know it's going to be -4 and +2. Perfect. I have this factored. The only difference is now I need to plug back in what the original piece was. So I said that A was 3x minus 1. So now I'm going to plug that back in. So anywhere I see an A, I'm going to plug back in 3x minus 1. So here I have 3x minus 1 minus 4. And then I have 3x minus 1 plus 2. Now I'm going to just combine like terms within the brackets. So here I'm going to have 3x minus 1 minus 4. So here I get 3x minus 5. And then my other one is 3x minus 1 plus 2, which combining like terms, I get 3x plus 1. This is my final answer. So I've now taken a kind of complicated piece to expand it out, everything like that. And if I were to break it back down, okay, these are my factors that are going to be it. Okay, so let's do the next one. So again, as long as I have a squared term, okay, a constant, and then I have a 1 value, whatever I have in the brackets that are the same, I'm going to let's say we're going to say let A. You can choose whatever you want, but I'm going to say let A is equal to m minus 1. I'm going to rewrite this. So here I have 2a squared plus 5. There's an m minus 1, so that's an a, and then minus 12. Okay, so I have a trinomial. So I'm going to split this up. And I know one term has to be a 2a, one term has to be a positive a. I need to think of two numbers that multiply to get to -12. So I have -3, -4, My negative 3 is going to go here. My positive 4 is going to go here. Okay, this is me kind of just going really quick with it. If you need to slow it down and you need to know that, okay, well, negative 3a, that gives me negative 3a, and 2 times negative 4, or 2 times 4 gives me positive 8a. I know that negative 3a plus 8a gives me that 5a. Totally okay. I'm just going to speed this kind of up a little bit for me. Okay, so I have my factors. It's factored for me. Now I need to plug back in what I said a was going to be. So now I have 2. Okay, but my a is now going to be m minus 1. Okay, minus 3. And then my a here was m minus 1. And then plus 4. Now I'm going to make sure that I have those pieces all out. In the bracket I have 2m minus 2 minus 3. And this one I have m minus 1 plus 4. I look at all these pieces together. Here I get 2m minus 5. In this bracket I get m plus 3. And this is my factored form. Okay, so it's the same thing that I was doing before. They're just making it look a little bit more complicated. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more here with you. So let's look here. So I see 2 terms, 1 squared is 1 naught, and the brackets are the same. So I'm going to let my a equal x plus 2. Okay, I'm going to rewrite the term. Everywhere I see an x plus 2 in brackets, I'm going to replace it with an a. So here I get 12a squared plus a 24 x plus 2, so that's an a, and then plus 9. Okay. All of the rules are still going to apply. Now that I've just reshaped this, I'm going to look for the greatest common factor first. There is a greatest common factor between 12, 24, and 9, and that is going to be my 3. So I'm going to pull out my 3. Okay, I'm going to see what I have left here. So I have a 4a squared plus 8a plus 3. Okay, now I'm just going to take a peek inside the brackets and I want to factor that piece out here. Okay, so I'm going to leave this 3 out here on its own. Okay, because I've taken that factor out. I should have 2 brackets. Okay, I know it either has to be 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. I'm going to try 2a and 2a first. And I know my 2 numbers have to be multiplied to get to 3. And there's only one way. It's going to be 1 and 3. So 1 plus 1 plus 3. Just want to make sure that all works out. And it does. Okay, so those are my factors. Now I'm going to plug in, anywhere I see an a, I'm going to plug in my x plus 2. So again, I'm going to leave this 3 out here still. I have a bracket 2, and then I'm going to plug it back in my x plus 2 plus 1. And I have my 2. There's a bracket of an x plus 2 and plus 3. I'm just going to expand this one out. So I have 2x plus 4 plus 1. So that leaves me with a bracket of 2x plus 5. And then my second bracket, I have 2x plus 4 plus 3. So then I should have a bracket here of 2x plus 7. I can't forget that I took out my original 3 of my greatest common factor, and that is one of my factors. Okay, so then this is my factored form. Okay. So let's go over to this question. And I want you to kind of take a minute and take a look at it, and let's see what's different about it. So I see that I have, okay, two terms, but these two terms, they're different from each other. Okay, so this one has a 2t plus 1, and this one has an s minus 2. Okay, when I'm looking at these kind of breaking down here, I see that I have a 9 and I have a 4. When they're all squared, kind of all sets up like a difference of squares. So I'm going to let A be equal to my first piece. And that's going to be 2t plus 1. And I'm going to change another one, and I'm going to change B being equal to an s minus 2. Let's just plug that back in, because if they're different, then maybe something else might happen. So here, so I have a 9a squared minus a 4b squared. Okay, I love difference of squares. I see that there's two numbers that I can perfectly square root. Okay, and they're separated. They're a difference of the two of them, so there's a minus in between. So that means that I'm going to split everything up. I'm going to have bracket, 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 bracket. The square root of 9a squared is 3a. So I put a 3a in both brackets. The square root of 4b squared is 2b. So 2b, and 2b. And if it's a difference of squares, one gets positive, one gets negative, doesn't matter which one it is. Okay, so I've now factored out my nice looking piece, but now I have to kind of make it not look so nice, because now I got to factor back these pieces in here. So here I have a 3, and my A is going to be 2t plus 1. So I'm going to put 2t plus 1. Okay, plus a 2, and my B is s minus 2. So s minus 2. Okay, that's my first bracket. And then my second bracket is going to be a 3 times, I'm going to change my color just so you guys can see it. And A is 2t plus 1. And this one's minus 2. And my B value is s minus 2. Okay, I'm going to expand everything out here. So here in this bracket, I get a 6t plus 3 plus a 2s minus 4. And then in this bracket, I get a 6t plus 3. And then here I get I'm going to say I get minus, so negative 2s, and then plus 4. Okay. So I'm going to combine everything else up here. I just want to make it 2s minus 4. Okay, perfect. And to finish it all off, in here I get 6t minus, plus 2s. What am I doing? 6t plus 2s minus 1. And in this bracket, I get 6t plus 2s plus 7. Minus 2s. What am I doing? This is a minus 2s, I'm sorry. Minus 2s plus 7. And then this is my factored form of those two. Mr. Petoskey's music in the background is getting me. Okay, perfect. So the biggest thing is that you need to recognize when you can trade pieces out, just so it's a little bit easier for you to factor. Okay, you don't want to make yourself harder on yourself to deal with it. Okay, so make sure that when you're looking, okay, do I have an a squared b, like a squared a and a constant? That's our common trinomial kind of piece to it. Or there might be something fancy like a difference of squares here like this. So you can pause the video here, but it is your turn. I'm just going to write the answers for the your turn. I'm not going to go through the process to it, but you can pause the video here, and I want you to try these two on your own. Okay, so the answers for this one, for the your turn, you take a -2 out, and it should be n minus 4, and then an n plus 4. Okay, and then this one, this is a longer road, but it's okay. You can take a 6y, and then bracket 6y minus 1. Okay, the reason I got the 6y is because I originally took out a 2. Common, you guys might have gotten 6y minus 1 and then times a 3y. I just multiplied that 2 times 3y in. So some of you might have gotten this first one, which is, you're not wrong, it's just a more simplified form. And then this was my piece down to it. Perfect. Okay, so for the rest of this block, you are going to be, if you need to go back and just focus on basic factoring, I encourage you to open up your OneNote, go back and look at all these simple, or not simple, like more simple pieces that don't have our crazy quadratics in there just yet. And then, but if you don't need to, then you have the rest of this class to work on this assignment. Okay, 4.2, factoring quadratic equations. Okay, it is going to start you off nice, and then it will, the second page is going to be factoring each expression that way. Okay, thanks guys.